And I am live for the first time in months. Trusty is back. And if you're paying really close attention, you recognize I'm back in my old haunts because I was supposed to be on location tonight and Mother Nature decided to get in the way. So instead of being live at the antique shop, I am just going to do a quick sale here. I did promote that we are doing a jewelry sale. I do have some pieces of jewelry that I was going to include in the sale tonight, and I happen to have those here at the house, so I can go ahead and sell those, but this will not be a full jewelry sale. But figured I'd go on live a couple minutes early because people are out of the habit of trying to find me, so give a few minutes head notice for people that might need to find me. So we've got Poodle has already joined us. Thank you so much, Poodle. I still have that one glass item that you picked up in one of my drop sales. Thank you for that. It was the $3 shot glass. Seems silly to pay for shipping all the way across country just for that one little item. So I've just been holding that to the side for you. So if you pick up anything tonight, I will combine all of that for you. Sandra, thank you. It is good to be back. I will say I've had many things that have been filling my life, some of them fun, some of them not so fun. And it's just been a balance. And I can't say I've mastered it yet. But for the most part, I do enjoy doing these. Actually, for the most part, that was not supposed to be attached to the sales. I do enjoy doing the sales, but I do need to stretch them out. And after doing, and I've talked about this off and on toward the end of last year, I did weekly live sales through the pandemic every week for almost 2 years. And I felt obligated. I felt, attached to my computer, and I had to do them at the same time every week because that was a big issue for a while, that people were, juggling time slots. And it just got to the point where they weren't fun anymore. So I needed to back away from it. So I did quite a few changes lately. One of the big things I just did last night or the night before, I took 2 large Rubbermaids of old inventory that I originally had listed on Etsy when I first started my online business 4 years ago. When I first started, I was just buying different things. In many cases, I was buying it because I was picking them up inexpensively, thinking, oh, this is worth money. And it was worth money, but somebody had to find it and want to buy it and then wanted to pay for the shipping. And so I took 2 Rubbermaids that were filled with serving platters and not really China pattern stuff. Like they were one-off pieces, and some of them were like 50s and 60s, mid-century modern, things that should have sold, but for whatever reason, just never did. Some glassware that I didn't want to ship because, lately things have been not doing well in shipping. So I just took it to an auction house. I already took a bunch of stuff to Goodwill. And then I was like, you know what? I go to this auction house. It's local. It's kind of a fun place, literally a fun place to shop. I don't usually get a lot of stuff, but it's kind of a fun place. He runs a fun auction. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have him try and sell my stuff. And I may get like $1. I have no idea. I don't care. I figured it'd be part of the fun. And most importantly, it freed up 2 huge spaces in my storage area, in my garage, of what those big Rubbermaids that were holding all this stuff that I just didn't want to relist it. I didn't want to sell it on live sales, or I might have already tried and it didn't sell. And I'm like, why am I holding on to this? So it's kind of my first live sale in 2023. That wasn't intentional. That was partially because I am back involved in community theater. So 2023, I kind of had a new focus, and I want to focus. And when I started going and finding stuff that I want to sell, I'm having more fun listing it on eBay. I'm having more success selling on eBay, knock wood. I don't think I'm quite still up to my daily. I was averaging earlier in the week. I'd been averaging a sale a day on eBay, which to regular sellers, that's nothing. But for me is a big deal because I never had that much activity on eBay. But it was also because I had more fun listing stuff. So I was putting more stuff out there. And so when I had more stuff out there, eBay's like, oh, look, this is a real person actually trying to sell things. So, it all works out. So so thank you, Sandra, for welcoming me back. Dan, thanks so much for joining. Jerry coming in from Michigan, thanks for joining us again. Karen coming in from the West Coast. I found again, welcome. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us. And so I appreciate everyone joining. If you didn't, I signed on a little early just to say some hellos. If you missed the very beginning, I had done some promotions. I'm going to turn off my furnace so that's not running in the background. I'd done some promotions specifically that this was my first live sale first live sale of 2023. And if you're paying attention, my live sale was supposed to be at the antique mall. I'm not at the antique mall. And it's because Mother Nature decided to get in the way. We've had some absolutely amazingly good weather here in Chicago for the last week or two, which should have just been a warning saying, ha ha ha, we're in the fall spring season and we're going back into winter, and winter hit today. And so I had planned to have a helper at the store to help me go through, because what I was going to do was go from booth to booth and grab some jewelry from multiple sellers. That person wasn't going to be able to help me because the drive was going to be too treacherous. It's not that far for me, and I made the decision I wasn't going to do the drive when the Amazon Prime driver dropped something at the door, and I hollered out really quick, "Hey, how are the roads?" They said, "Stay inside." Even the Amazon driver did not want to be on the road. So I'm like, oh, you know what? We'll just do the live sale. I'll just do it from here, and I will push off the jewelry sale at the shop to another date. So I do apologize if you were here specifically for the jewelry sale. I do have jewelry. Hi, Yvonne. I do have jewelry. Hi, Chad. So I had some pieces that I was going to sell at the shop tonight. They happen to be here at the house. So I will go ahead and sell some jewelry here. So if you were specifically looking for jewelry, I will start with the jewelry, and this may end up being a relatively short sale. I have a couple things that are on the table that I've been looking to list, or kind of emptying out boxes. So depending on how things go, this isn't going to be a super long sale regardless, but I might add some other pieces. And Tia Fane's joining us from Canada. Hello. So we will see. And Angela, Angela's also here in the Chicago area with me. So she's farther north. So I don't know how much you had. Sitting inside, I work from home for my day job. So sitting inside, it just every once in a while, it seemed like there was a little bit of like that sleety stuff hitting the window, but it didn't look bad. It just, it's kind of like, kind of overcast. I'm not really sure. The road looks wet, but not really sure. And then what the Amazon driver said was that the roads were just sheets of ice, and it just wasn't worth it to try and make it to a sale. So it is February in Chicago, so I really shouldn't be surprised, and I'm not complaining. But it was a little bit of a change to my plans for tonight. So I just like, I have to cancel, and I'll put an announcement. Like, oh, wait a minute, I can still do a live sale. I'll just do a live sale from here. So again, not from the shop. I won't have the variety of jewelry that I was going to offer, so I do apologize for that. So Angela said, had to run to the post office, just trying to walk across the parking lot. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Oh, and Nate's coming in. And so Nate is in the midst of summer right now. So he's laughing at all of us, talking about our snow and our ice. So thanks for popping in, Nate, and missing the jewelry sale. But if you're, like I said, I'll have a few pieces of jewelry. Actually, one of the pieces of jewelry I have is the same piece of jewelry that Nate and Katie sold at one of their sales. I just happened to find it, and I'm like, oh, hey, that's the same piece. But if you need a jewelry fix, also make sure you're following Katie from Vintage and Vinyl and Nate at Soul Nate, because they are also doing live sales and they have different themes, but they've had a couple jewelry sales, and they've got some great pieces there as well. So, if you're always looking for jewelry, I do like this. Again, this thing I'm focusing on, I'm trying to focus on things that are easy to ship. So if you missed the story at the very beginning, I just did a big haul to a local auction house to get rid of a bunch of big serving platters and just heavy and big and fragile stuff that I just didn't want to have to ship. I've been doing pretty well on eBay lately. Again, not wood, but I've been doing pretty well on eBay lately. And what's nice is what I'm selling a lot of are the vintage ephemera, the stuff that I really enjoy selling anyway, but they just slide nicely into one of those rigid photo mailers. I have like 3 different sizes. Slides into one of those, put some basic postage on, because usually it's less than a couple of ounces. Super simple to get out the door, and so I can crank things out much faster than when I have to sit there and find my rolls of bubble wrap and go through all my packing material to try and make something ship cross country that will inevitably break. So that is a slight change. So selling jewelry, that was why the sale for tonight was going to be focused on jewelry, because it is easy to ship. So we'll go ahead and get things started. So I'm not sure, Jerry. So I have the items that I just dropped off of the auction either last night or the night before, I just dropped them off. They won't actually be listed in the auction until March. So they do 2 auctions a month. I already missed the cutoff for the next one coming up in February. So I think mine will go into the listings on March 11th. If you follow Auction Zip, you'll be able to see them. But it's stuff that did not have particularly high value. The reason I like going to this auction is because as a buyer, things don't tend to get high prices, and they sell this type of stuff. So I'm not going to make a lot of money on it, But in many cases, it is stuff that I started buying when I first started 4 years ago. I was buying everything super inexpensively, and that money is long gone. I am not of the mindset, I paid $10 for that and I must get $10 back. I, at this point, do not care. Because in some cases, I might have bought it at a box lot at an auction. And so maybe I made the money someplace else from the box. And now I've just got this random serving platter that I don't know what to do with, that's difficult and expensive to ship. So it is rough trying to figure out what to sell. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I do listen to some podcasts a lot, like the little short format. It's called Antiques Diva. She is from Oklahoma, but she lives in Italy. And she basically runs a business, and particularly during COVID, a lot of what she does is she helps businesses. She helps, antique shops and antique businesses kind of develop and build into what they should be. And she had an interview with an individual, and I could think of her name. I would say it. I can't think of it. And I apologize to her. Fantastic, fantastic interview. And she made a comment during the interview. She specializes in garden antique. So like the really big, those urns, the benches, like the architectural pieces for gardens, so like really high end stuff. And she said when she first started out, before internet, before eBay, before any of that, she made all kinds of mistakes. She lost tons of money because she bought things that were reproductions thinking they were real, like all these. She said it took her 7 years to learn what to buy to be successful in her business. So I'm like, well, I'm halfway there. So I need to make sure I start learning some more and learn things faster. But it made me feel a little bit better because I'm sitting here basically getting rid of what could be considered valuable inventory. Well, it's not valuable if I'm not going to list it on eBay and it's just going to sit in a Rubbermaid. So, it's just one of those cases. If I can pass it off to somebody else, particularly another reseller that, will shop at that auction and think, oh, this Rubbermaid full of 1950s serving platters, that's what a great deal. You try and sell them and then you try and ship them. So everyone's got their niche. And lately I've been doing a lot in ephemera. So we will see where that turns into. So let's see, I think it jumped. So I don't know where I left off. Bell Dreams Vintage. Belinda. Okay. That's a new name. I was going to say, wait, that's a new name I don't know, but I know Belinda Carroll. So thanks so much for joining. And Margot from Vintage Peep Show, go. Thanks so much for coming in. Mary joining us again. And let's see, did I miss anybody else? Sherry, hello. And Carol. And let's see. Tammy Renee Walker, bringing up the South. With her Basset Hound, love it. Love the thumbnail with the Basset. Love the Bassets. Dirt Road Memories joining. So thanks so much, everyone, for coming in. So again, really short version for those that have already heard. Mayberry. For those that heard at the beginning, I would just really quick, if you paid attention, if you saw my promotions, I was supposed to be live at my antique shop today. Because of the weather, I really didn't feel safe driving there, or worse, getting back. So we're just doing a live sale from here. So I happen to have some jewelry that I will be selling tonight. These were pieces of mine that I was going to sell at the shop. So I'll go ahead and do jewelry. So if you're specifically here for jewelry, I guess I should have changed the title of the video, but if you're specifically here for jewelry, I won't let you astray. I'll let you have some jewelry right off the bat. But then I'll just kind of grab some random stuff that's just sitting around me that I'm either waiting to list on eBay or possibly going to my booth at the shop. If you guys want to pick something up, I'm more than happy to pass that on. Kara coming in from Kitschy Corner. Thanks so much for joining us from Georgia. So I will start out with a piece of jewelry. Actually, I already mentioned it, so I will start out with the piece that I mentioned. So if you are following Katie and Nate on for their sales, this would have been probably, I don't know if it was their last sale or the sale before that. They actually had this piece. And I can't remember if I think I might have already had it when I saw it show up on their sale, because I was doing some digging, and hopefully you can see the detail work of the wire work that's surrounding the enamel. It's got that kind of beading effect. And you can see there's also cut work to it. You can see my hand is kind of coming through that. There are some pieces that have the same general design, but all of the gold is filled in. So there's not as much detail to it. Katie and Nate had the nicer version, and that's the same version that I have as well. It is not marked. That I could find. And I think when they sold theirs, they couldn't find it either. but it has the rhinestone in the eye. It's got the enamel both on the feathers, and then the absolutely fantastic, I'm going to still assume it's a peacock, even though it's all done in black, an absolutely beautiful peacock tail. So this is a pinback brooch with the clasp, unmarked, gold tone, and I am selling that for $18. And $18 for letter, I didn't think to grab any letters, so letter P for peacock. If you want the peacock, P for $18 gets you the black enamel peacock. Hey, Sandy. Because I planned on having a helper, I had not organized as much. So $18, letter P goes to Belinda Carroll. Thank you. Oh, wait. I need to do this on my phone because I see two people came in on top of each other. And doing it on YouTube. And I apologize, Belinda. Karen came in right before you. So I see Karen actually gets that. So Karen Dondelinger, the peacock, is going to San Francisco. So thank you so much. Can't afford to live here in California. Yeah, I always wonder how people can do it. Oh, sorry, Belinda. I didn't know you were sick. So yeah, I hope you're doing better. Thanks for joining us in. And if at any point, like we're all friends here, so if at any point, if anyone disagrees with what I'm seeing, since Nate wasn't sure he was going to be available, Katie wasn't available, I didn't have any helpers at all tonight, so I'm kind of doing this all on my own. If all of a sudden you say, wait a minute, I think somebody else got it, we're all friends. We're not going to worry about it. This is another piece that I will stick with the black and gold theme. This actually showcased on my channel a while ago. I did a video that I picked up a set of pins, Soviet era pins, and this was in there. And I actually have to admit, I have considered keeping this for myself. From a glance, if you didn't know it came from the batch, you wouldn't necessarily know that it was Soviet. Two giveaways are, if you're familiar with Soviet era pinbacks, they always have that look. They've got that just very open hook and then a very long pin that sticks in it. But the giveaway is the Cyrillic alphabet, which if you look at the top, it just looks like KOC. So you wouldn't necessarily know that that's actually KLS. It looks like regular, but then you look at the first letter underneath the pin, it looks like a U that has a tail on it. So that is the Cyrillic alphabet. These are inexpensive pins. They're cute. They're lightweight. They're gold. They are metal. They're gold tone. This is one of the larger ones that I have available. And this one is in really nice condition because this is probably, based on the design, I would say a 60s or 70s era pin. These were really popular from between like the 60s to pretty much about the 90s. I visited there in late 80s, and these types of pins were super popular. And I had all kinds of them when I was in college, and I wish I still had them. So when I found the batch, I definitely picked them up because I think they're fun to have. So we're going to do, this one is, he is $6, and we're going to give him letter D because he is a deer. So D, deer, for the Soviet black and gold pin, and it is $6. Again, I have to make my little notes here. And it looks like a couple people had wanted that one. And what I am seeing is Karen Dondelinger is the fastest internet again tonight. So that also is going to Karen D, but please let me know if anyone disagrees. I'm going to go ahead and do the jewelry first because there are several people that I don't recognize that you might be here specifically because I was doing jewelry. So I don't want to disappoint. So you asked if there's a face above the deer. Oh my God, you're right. I did not see that. Okay, that is going to haunt my dreams. I have no idea what that represents. And now I wonder what is next to his face. Is that a fist? I literally just assumed those were branches from like a willow tree. Like I didn't think it was anything. I don't know. But yes, good call, Angela. I did not see the face. So do you have any ideas what's next to it? Loaf of bread? I'm not sure. Anyway, so Karen can examine that and determine what she thinks it is. All right, next piece is a beautiful enameled piece. So you've got, let's see if I can do something with some background on it so it's easy to see. So a beautiful blue, like Tiffany sky powder blue enamel that has then been added with, you can see like pink and purple and green accents on top of that. Then it's done obviously in a floral design. It has the center is done in gold, and it does appear, let me pull out my cheaters. It does appear, yeah, it does appear that the very tip of the flower also has enamel. So it's like a white enamel just at the very tip of that. It is, yeah, I always have to learn from others. So I learned from Katie that this has the Y-shaped riveted back. So that puts it as an earlier piece, 50s, 60s era. And I would say from this design, I could see this as a very smart brooch for like one of those little cropped jackets with the matching skirt, underneath it. Beautiful piece. It is 1.4 inches across, and it actually is kind of high because you can see like it does have so not counting the pin, it's a 1/2 inch tall, so it's going to stick up a little bit from your collar. So this is, hey Halem, hey Melody. So this is a $10 brooch. Yeah, with the Y-shaped V-back, 50s, 60s, $10 enamel brooch. And we are going to give this one as letter E for the enamel brooch. $10. I really should have planned ahead for this. So I'm making little notes here. So this is E. Okay, we've got multiple claimers on this one. I am seeing this time Sandra Smith is claiming that one. That is on my YouTube. So if anyone disagrees, please let me know. But I think I see Sandra first. So thank you, Sandra, so much for picking that up. Also have, most of them are brooches, but I also have a couple of necklaces. This one I could not pass up. I know from some of the sales I've done in the past, owls are always popular. I am not personally somebody who's knowledgeable or reseller of a lot of the boho chic, primarily because I grew up in the boho chic and I never want to see it again. And what I grew up in was not chic, but I couldn't even pass this guy up. He's got the rhinestone eyes with the burgundy and the green enamel. Check out like the 60s flower power, chest panel that he's got there. Unfortunately, it's not signed. So it just has a standard gold tone in the back. The indentations are where the stones are set. And I forgot to look. They are not prong set. So they are glued into there. But all the enamel's in really good condition. It's a fairly decent sized chain. So it's a 15-inch drop. It's a 30-inch chain. And then it also has, I was looking on the chain too, it does have a weighted extender, but the extender and the clasp, those are not marked either. So this is unfortunately an unmarked piece. And yes, it does. It's kind of like he's got little wheels, rhinestone wheels for his eyes. So this piece is $12 for the owl. And we are going to go ahead and give him the letter. I need to be more flexible on this, but we're going to give him an O. O for owl. And he is $12 for the owl necklace. All right. This is one of my favorite pieces, and I'm hoping you guys might be able to tell me more about it because, again, I'm sure a lot of you will know more about reselling than I do. So let's see. I've got Kelly from Found Again. Looks like the first O. So Kelly, just make sure you resend me your contact information, Kelly, because I'm not sure if I know where you're at right now. So let me know that, and I will invoice you for that. So thank you for picking up the owl. All right, so the next one is a stick pin, and I actually like stick pins a lot, and I keep some of them for my hats when I wear the hats. But this one, I wanted to ask and see, because what I didn't know about, and one of the reasons it never got listed on eBay, was because I don't know how to tell what the stone is. At a glance, I'd say it's a moonstone. Like that's what it looks like. But I have no idea how to tell if it's a real moonstone or if it's like a piece of plastic that's replacing it. So I don't know if anyone's got any tips on it. So, can't really tell when I'm tapping on it, but it's just got an absolutely gorgeous crown at the top. Let me give it a piece of white paper again, so you have a backdrop. So you've got the beautiful crown at the top, and then kind of just like a filigree arms. I don't think they're anything. Like, I don't think they're fish. I don't think they're ram's heads. I think they're just some like extra support so that the crown doesn't snap off. And then you've got the rope design that's holding the stone. Now the stone is, again, not prong set. So I don't think it's anything necessarily high end, but I don't know. It kind of looks like a moon. Oh, does it glow? Hold on. I think I'm sitting on my black light. I didn't even think to check. What a great question. So, I do, and I have it. All right. Pardon me while you look at the top of my head. Let's see if... Oh, it does. All right. See, now, how am I going to show you that it does? Let's see. Can you tell it it's glowing? Because I've got too many lights on in here to be able to tell, but it does glow. Will moonstones glow? Hey, Delbert. Yeah, it's too bright for you guys to actually see it. It does glow. So thank you so much for asking, because I didn't think to check. So does a moonstone glow, or does this make it a different type of stone? So curious. Anyway, I think this is a great looking piece. Yeah, like I said, it's just a stick pin. Again, not marked. Let me show you the back so you can kind of see how it was made, how the pin itself. Let me get rid of the paper go. So you can see how it's attached. And there's some pretty decent molding work from how that was done. You can see the rope actually continues onto the back side as well. So it's not just a flat back. They did actually put some detail into it. So the stick pin is $8. And we're going to give that letter M, because it might be moonstone. $8 is letter M for the possible moonstone stick pin. All right, and it looks like Karen is first to grab that one as well. All right, thank you, Karen. Got a little box going to California. All right. Next piece. This is actually a piece I have worn, and it's a little too tropical for me, to be perfectly honest. So when I was trying to find some things that reminded me of spring, or like kind of representational of spring, to kind of like particularly make up for the fact that our weather's so crappy right now, we've got some tropical fish. So it is an enamel brooch, 3 tropical fish, little fish family, Papa, Mama, and baby. Let's go with that. Swimming in front of some coral. It's in fantastic condition of the enamel. Get the little cheater here with the white backdrop. It's in great condition with the enamel. There's no cracks in it. There's no chips. None of it is missing. The eyes are painted black. They're not chips. It's just paint. There's no stone or anything. It's just painted black in the eyes. The back, however, looks like it was left in salt water. Hey, Dana. Hey, Lori. So this one, it still has the older, that Y style back. It's riveted. So I do think there's some age to this one. But you can see that there's just quite a bit of oxidation on the back. And I'm not sure necessarily what would cause that, but whatever caused it didn't have any impact on the front. The front is fully enameled. The edges were actually well enough enameled that none of that oxidation has passed over to the front. So it's just a great piece. It is... two and 2.4 inches. long, and from its biggest part here, about a little under 2 inches tall, its biggest side. And it's got the safety clasp on that. And like I said, I actually have worn this in my hat, so it's completely functional. The clasp was tight and everything. So even though it's got some wear on the back, and yeah, Melody's right. It's like the saltwater did it. It's like the fish tried to go home. And it's just, I found that, almost find it fascinating. My undergraduate degree is in chemistry, is that the enamel protected the front so much that it didn't get in between. And then I would have thought that would have started flaking off the enamel. So it's a nice looking piece. We are going to be uberly creative and call it, we're going to say it's $15, and we're going to give it the letter F for the fish brooch. So $15 for the enameled fish brooch, $15 by giving me letter, which you can't even see, letter F for the fish brooch. All right, let's see, I got a smaller one in here. So this one, again, trying to find something. Hey, Lori, picking up for Blue Flamingo Mercantile. Fantastic. And Lori, I haven't shipped to you in a while either. So if you get a chance to just drop me an email, reconfirm all of your information, I would appreciate it to make sure I have everything correct. Downside of not doing sales weekly is things start drifting out of my, sometimes you start typing it and it just autofills. And I've started noticing that some of those autofills aren't happening anymore because I haven't touched them in long enough. So this one is another pin from the Soviet collection. It's another stick pin. Ooh, and you know what? I forgot to check this one. All right, everyone, religious pop quiz. Is that St. Andrew's cross? I picked this up specifically because of the green color. We've got St. Patrick's Day coming up. Yes, there is a religious connotation that clearly I don't even know what it is. But it's got the green, and this is a very inexpensive pin. So like these are probably plastic green. These are not rhinestones of any shape. This is a very inexpensive $3 pin. Like this is gonna be $3. You'll probably pay more in postage to get it. But it's a cute pin. It's a great color, and you can see it's marked on the back again. But it's just a great little color. So I meant to look up what that style of cross means. And right now, none of my religious scholars are in the house. And certainly I'm not the religious scholar to answer it. But I want to say St. Andrews. I think, was St. Andrews the one that was shot by arrows? I don't know. Like, know your martyrs 101. I failed that class. So anyway, this is only $3. I just throwing in here because I wanted to have a range of pieces. Again, if you're picking up other pieces for $3, this will go in. It won't even add any weight. Like there's almost no weight to this at all. But it's a cute little collar pin, lapel pin, or you can put it in your hat. $3, and we're going to give this is letter S for. We're going to call it a St. Andrew's cross. So we're going to say S for the little green Soviet pin. For $3. All right, and Karen is going to pick that up, and you already got a box heading to you. So yeah, that one it's $3 because basically it's going to ship for free. All right, so M. Reed is confirming I'm correct, shockingly enough. So the St. Andrew's cross. So thank you so much, M. Reed, for joining. And I apologize, I don't know what M. Reed stands for, but thanks for joining. So next one, this one I've actually had for a while. I actually found it. I was digging up something on my Instagram channel, and I found this. And I don't know why. I don't know if I tried to sell it and didn't sell, or if I just set it aside and just never sold it. But what I found on my Instagram was I had been asking what the marking meant, because it's a little fox. Well, let's just say I think he's a fox. There was actually a question about that too. A couple of people came back. It was a specific type of fox, and I forgot to write it down, of course. But what I specifically was asking was, what was the animal? And then there was the marking on the top, which was JJ. And I couldn't remember what the JJ stood for. And so that was, Katie had answered that. And as you probably all know, that was Jeanette jewelry. But then a couple of people sent me pictures of this style of fox. I just think he's a fox. Exactly, Poodle. I just think he's a fox to me. And I think he's pretty foxy. I mean, he's probably, again, from just this kind of like the stylized way the legs are done, I'm thinking he's like a 50s or 60s fox. I think there's some age to him. The back doesn't have the Y shape. It has kind of like an arc. And I actually don't know where that falls in the scope of the era of the pin back. So it is a riveted back, but it's got a curve as opposed to the Y or the V shape. So I think he's adorable. I think his green eyes are absolutely mesmerizing. So again, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. If you're not a big one that you're going to go crazy about green, hey, you could just have somebody staring at, you have this staring at people with his green eyes. So he is $9 and he is going to be letter F for the fox. So the fox is $9 for the little Jeanette jewelry. Doesn't do that jewelry fox. Hey, Maria. All right. Down to my last couple of pieces of jewelry. So let's see. It looks like Belinda Carroll snuck in this time, and she is picking up the fox. And this goes for just about everybody, Belinda, as well. I know I've shipped to you before. Go ahead and just send me a quick email with all of your information. It'll just make it easier for me than having to dig through. You know, it's been quite a while since I've had a regular live sale. And so it's been a while since some of you who are buying now. I greatly appreciate it. And I definitely appreciate the 40 people who all joined into the sale. It's nice that, you know, people don't forget me. You know, just go ahead and send me, you know, it'll make me easier to find to make sure I can get everything out. This is the type of stuff that I love finding. And it's going to be a statement piece. This is, unfortunately, was cut from a larger piece. This would have been on a long thread to make this a built-in necklace at the time it was made, because they did this in multiple areas in Southeast Asia, but they would turn that cord, they do that knotting technique, and then that just became part of the way it was attached to the jade. So this is a piece of white jade. So you've got the brown trim to it. Obviously, the higher quality white jade would cost a fortune, and that would be much purer color. As you get into the edges of the stone, you would get the brownish colors that pop in. That just, to me, gives it more distinction, because if this were all white, you'd have a harder time seeing some of that carved design. And what's great about this as a pendant is you've got the carved design on both the front and on the back. So as it spins, as you're wearing it, it will have a design on both sides. It's a decent sized piece. Again, top to bottom, you are just under 2.5 inches, and side to side, you are 1.65 inches. So you've got a fairly decent sized piece that, you know, if you put that onto a regular cord or turn it into a regular pendant, you'll have to find something to clasp this fairly large piece. You have a very nice statement piece. It is still a piece of white jade. It's still a very attractive piece. This was going to go into the locked case at the antique shop, so it didn't walk off. But no fees, no costs or anything here, so I can knock the price down a little bit. So here I will sell this one for $20. So $20 for the white jade pendant. $20 if you would like that, and that will be a J. We'll say that is J for the jade pendant. All right, and then the last thing I was going to sell, I had a couple of the nicer Soviet pins I pulled out separately, but what I also have are just stacks of the regular Soviet pins. So some of them are enameled, some of them are just regular metal. You know, this one, that's Lake Baikal. I've got stacks of these. So they're all going to the booth, and that's why they're already bagged up. I'm missing the... Oh, it's over there. I have a bowl of ones that I haven't bagged up yet. I'm going to do them as a mixed lot, super inexpensively. So what I'm going to do is they would all sell in the booth for between $2 and $4, depending on how much detail was in them. They all have that same type of pin back that was on the bigger pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a random pull of 5 of the Soviet pins for $10. So you get, even the nicer ones, you get 5 of them for $10. So these are really nice size. You could cluster them together. You know, I've got the red and gold ones I've got on my black hat because they pop off really nice. They're just really small pieces that add to it. So you get a random set of 5 for $10 by giving me letter. I don't think I've used letter. I did. Well, we'll just use it again because we've already bought it. Letter S for Soviet pins. If you want a set of 5 grab bag Soviet pins for $10, give me a letter S and you will get those sent to you. All right, so that was writing that one down in case anyone wants that. So the only 2 things that didn't sell for the jewelry then were the jade pendant and the sets of Soviet pins. So those I will hold for later. And that is the end of my jewelry segment. So if you came here specifically to buy jewelry, I apologize that things, again, did not go according to plan. When the weather is better, hopefully at some point in March, I will pick a night and I will take my regular live sale slot. We'll pick one of those Thursdays in March and I will do that sale again. I will do it. Hopefully the weather will be more cooperative at that time because there are booths upon booths upon booths that specialize in jewelry and the prices are super attractive. So I really wanted to take advantage of that because I did some videos on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I did show a couple of the videos. I don't think anything that I showed in those videos was more than 20 or $25. And some of them were under $10. They were just some gorgeous rhinestone pieces. Some of them were signed. Some of the vendors have been there. The shop's been there for 34 years. Some of the vendors have been there since the day it opened, and they're just trying to turn their inventory. So they have really low prices, and because they don't ship, it's impossible to buy from them. So I'm kind of doing a little customer service or public service announcement for the shop. I'm going to sell everything. I will take care of buying it from the store and taking care of all the invoices. I will then invoice all of you, and then I will be doing all the shipping. So a little bit of a pain, but I want to get some marketing for the store. And then I was going to have my jewelry in there. So maybe I'll try and find some more jewelry before I do it again. So it will happen. I do apologize. I don't have it. That was all the jewelry I had for tonight. But that was quite a few pieces. So I've got a few other things I was going to sell. Things are about listed. I do, just as a quick announcement, I do have a drop sale scheduled coming up this Sunday. It's actually the Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties and I have gotten into the habit or the schedule that we're alternating who hosts it. And why is my phone ringing? Who hosts it. And so I'm hosting the February one. This is the biggest one that, just out of sheer coincidence, this is going to be the biggest one that we've ever hosted. There are 16 sellers that are participating in the shop hop on Sunday, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern with Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties. And then it runs through, I think the last one is Thrifting Adventures at 10:30 Eastern. I will be at 8:30 Eastern, and everyone, if you follow on Instagram, you'll be able to find all of them. I think there's some promotions going on YouTube right now. Really excited that Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, he is actually going to participate in a drop sale. His will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we've got a few new people joining the shop hop, and that will all be on Sunday. So my theme for the Sunday, my personal theme, this is not the theme for the shop hop. My personal theme for my 30-minute video on Sunday is actually going to be a $5 ephemera sale. And I have way more $5 ephemera than I could possibly put in the video. So I grabbed a couple of those pieces and I'm going to offer them now. So you're getting kind of not really a sneak peek, because if I sell it here, it's not going to be available. But this I have a multiple of, and this I thought was super fun. And again, falls in the category, ephemera is really easy to mail. So we're just going to let y'all read that, because I don't want to be demonetized, and I'm not sure what words I can say without becoming a problem. But it is, for those who didn't want to follow the rhythm method, it is a vintage box that held a deerskin prophylactic. So it's a disease preventative prophylactic rubbers, guaranteed for 5 years. I found that particularly interesting as well. Sold through drugstores only for medical purposes. So I actually had an opportunity to pick up an entire batch of these. So for the sale tonight, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 available, and they're $5 a piece. So $5 for the deerskin prophylactic box, and it is just flattened, and I will mail it flattened, but you can pop it back open and turn it into another little box. So $5, you could imagine what the reaction you'll get if you give their cash birthday prize, cash birthday gift rolled up in the box. So yes, dear Angela, we've got the deerskin prophylactic for you for $5 for letter D, $5. I have 6 of them. So for the first 6 people that are looking for a vintage advertising box for deerskin, and check out the graphics on that. They kind of look like antelope more than deer with those huge horns on them, but I'm not going to get too picky about it. I don't know, 30s, 40s. There's some age to this, and I will be perfectly honest. I didn't know they existed like a long time ago. So 3 for $1 at the time. So like if this was in the 40s, 3 for $1 would have been pretty pricey also. So I do look like I've got some takers. So if I'm looking at them in order, I'm going to take a screenshot because I definitely have more claiming than I think I have. I will look. I might have a couple of others, but this was what I had sitting on the table. So I have Margot will definitely get one. Jerry will definitely get one. Poodle will definitely get one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maria will definitely get one, and Sandy will get the 2 because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think that's what I have here. My table got a little out of control, so there might be a couple of extras, but it looks like and Margot wants 2 if they're available. I will let you know when I invoice you, Margot. If I can find another one, I'll just throw it in there. So you'll get then the next one. But so Sandy will go ahead and get 2, and everyone else was getting 1. Nate has decided to get some personal. Well, and what I thought of the fact that it was guaranteed for 5 years. Okay, this is like the minutia when you start watching old movies all the time. Remember the episode during Grease? Kinnicky is about to make it with. Okay, could it be more vulgar? But I could be more vulgar. But anyway, he's about to have sex with Rizzo for the very first time, and he goes to pull out the condom, and he realizes it's busted. And he said he bought it. I can't remember what he said. He's like, he either bought it when he was in junior high or he bought it when he was younger. And so it's like, okay, well, if you had this, it would have been good for 5 years. Maybe you would have still been able to use it. Then I love Rizzo. Oh, and I love Stockard Channing. So the movie versions is just fantastic. But that was what I thought of when it's like, oh, lasts for 5 years. All right. I don't think current ones are said to last that long. Anyway, so I'm glad I pulled that out, and I thought that was just a fun one. I thought that was just something that you guys might enjoy. Let's see what else is within reach. Oh, these were bagged up to go to the booth. So let me open it up. And I will just sell these for the same price I was going to sell them at the booth because they're already only $5. It's a Wienermobile whistle. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile plastic whistle. I don't think there was much on it. So I was trying to figure out if I could figure out when they were made. And I don't see anything. There's nothing molded into it to say who made it. But I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, we grew up with this, or I grew up with this stuff. I'm guessing this is probably 70s, maybe getting into the 80s. It's in really good condition. And I have 3 of them. So it's $5. So $5 if you want the Wienermobile. You give me the W, and you can have one of the Wienermobile whistles. I will not blow on it in the world of COVID. I won't actually do it, and I can't tell who would have blown on it before. But you can see it's a whistle because it's got the little thing at the end that you blow on the whistle. So $5. And this will be, unfortunately, I'll probably put it in a box or something so it doesn't get smashed. I can't put it in a flat envelope, but $5 for the Wienermobile whistle by giving me a W. So those I thought were fun to go into the booth. Okay, you know what we're going to do? This isn't a pop quiz. This is actually a question mark because I actually went to Scott from Old Curiosity Shop because I figure if anyone was going to know, he was going to know. And he failed me as well. What I have is a small sauce bowl that has a dragon design in the middle. Beautiful gold accents going around, gold trim. But hopefully, you can tell. If you look at the sides, there are these pieces that if I hold up to the right light, they're translucent. What is that called? I thought it was called I thought they were considered rice bowls. But when I look up rice bowls, all I get are bowls that are holding rice. And he thought it was called a rice bowl as well. Is there a term for that technique of making the porcelain where you have what looks like grains of rice, but they're just I can tell it easier because I'm looking into the light. You can tell it's translucent compared to the rest of the porcelain. Does anyone know what those are called? I think it's beautiful. I think it's, it just has a chop mark, which of course I cannot read. It's a beautiful bowl. Again, this was heading into the booth for $6. If anyone would like, even if we don't know what that decoration style is called, I still think it's a gorgeous piece. Put it up in a stand, or put a little votive candle in it. You've got a gorgeous little candle holder. $6 for letter R for the rice bowl, if you are interested in that. And that's going to be, well, other than I want to make sure the jewelry doesn't get damaged. That'll be the most fragile thing that I'm shipping tonight. And let's see. This was fun. This will also be relatively easy to ship, although it's going to have to go in a padded envelope as opposed to a regular envelope. Let's try and open it. It was already bagged to go into the booth, but I will open it up here. Oh, what's Karen saying? I'm going to age myself. But I got one when I was a kid, and I'm a 60s kid. Okay, so you remember so I think the Wienermobile's been around longer than the 70s. Just the plasticness of the whistle. I have a feeling your 60s Wienermobile whistles might have looked better, but I don't know. They're available. Nobody, I don't think anyone claimed them. So I still have 3 of the Wienermobiles available, letter W. But the next piece is, I'm not exactly sure what this is, to be perfectly honest, but it was too cute to pass up. But I actually, it's probably better for me to sell it here, because at the booth, 1, I could very easily walk away, but 2, it's difficult to showcase, because what it is, you have a little military wrap. Oh, Delbert had a Wienermobile at the Kroger just last month. I thought I was living my best fantasy life. This was probably a year ago. It was during COVID, and I was traveling, so it was late. And I was at the hotel. I was in Des Moines, Iowa. I just remembered that. And I walk out to go to grab dinner. I walk out the hotel and parked right in front of the door. It was just the Wienermobile just sitting there. It's weird. And everyone's taking pictures of it. It was just like we are all reliving our childhood. All right. So this is just a little toy raft that comes with a little military dude that's got a rifle. Now, he does stand in the raft, but I don't know why you'd be standing in the raft. But like, they were sold together, so I'm assuming they stay together. And this is just the best part. It's like the Titanic 2.0. All these, there's three of these life preservers. So this tiny little boat, there are 3 life preservers. So I think the boat can only hold 2 people, but man, there's going to be 3 people that can survive when it sinks, because there are 3 of the life preservers. So it's just a cute little toy set. I don't know the age of it. I don't think this one was marked either. Let me recheck. Like I said, this was bagged to go to this store, and so I just was grabbing some other fun things to sell. There's a circle on it. Does it say something? All right, let me get my little magnifying glass out, because now I'm curious. Because it's too small to be like a G.I. Joe or anything. So like, I don't know if it's part of a set or if it was. All right, made in Hong Kong. Oh, it's a Marx Toys, M-A-R-X, Marx Toys. So made in Hong Kong, which pushes this into what, like 70s or 80s. That's what's in the little circle. And I don't see anything else, but it's a Marx toy. Super cute. It's $5. Just $5 for the little toy set. $5. And you get him by giving me a letter T for toy. So T for toy for $5 gets you the little military dude and his boat. And you can find other small people to save with 3 life preservers. And so, wait a minute, we just had an answer. So Amelia is saying it's just called rice porcelain or rice grain porcelain. Okay, maybe that's what I can look up. I don't carry it very often, and if nobody bought it, so I'll just put it in the booth. But I do want to put a label on it, because it's just it's a cool thing, and I don't come across it very often. Let's see, I've got some ephemera. So this was part of the $5 ephemera sale. So the first one is a double-sided. I've only seen these a couple of times. It's a fringed love token. So you've got with my love, like sweet music pealing far over the blue sea, oft comes o'er me stealing sweet memories of thee. So you've got a little anchor surrounded by hearts. And on the backside, you have another anchor surrounding forget-me-nots. With my love to you, the choicest gifts that heaven can send, mayst thou enjoy until life shall end. So I don't know if technically these would have been considered Valentine's. They don't say Valentine's Day. They don't say Happy Valentine's Day or anything like that. They're just little love tokens. I did not have this in the booth for Valentine's Day because, that would have been smart. And I don't always do the smartest things. So we've got the fringed love token, double-sided. He is $5. And that is $5 for the letter L. Gets you the love token. The fringed love token. So he was part of the $5 ephemera sale that did not show up. Did not make it into the. I haven't actually done the recording yet, but I already have stacks of stuff, and that's not going to make it in because I felt guilty that I was selling what kind of was like a Valentine, but it was after Valentine's Day. So I'll do it later. But so it was sitting right there. Like, I'll just sell it to you now. So thank you. So let's see. It looks like Belinda Carroll is the first one to pick up the fringed Valentine. And I appreciate that, Belinda, for picking that up. All right. The next piece is a greeting card, I guess, combining it with a small trade card. So I'll be doing something with some trade cards coming up. Heather Elizabeth from Antique Agenda has done some videos on calling cards. She's done a lot of videos. She does a really nice job. She kind of, at no point, she's doing her own thing, but she's doing something similar to what I was doing for the Trusty's Vintage Deep Dives. So she is doing doing videos on her channel, and she's done some trade cards. Hey, Beth. She's done some she's done some calling card videos. We are probably going to do a trade card video and then maybe do a sale or something. But I have a bunch of Victorian trade cards. So what this one is, I found two that are related, sort of. They are Easter themed. So I'm actually trying to get these out the door before the holiday passes. So this one I think is really just a greeting card. So, or I kind of like a postcard, but it's not marked as a postcard. So in the cross and its banner, our glory shall be while we herald the tidings, salvation is free. At the very bottom, it says, Easter joys be yours. If you can tell, well, you really can't tell from the front. Maybe you can tell from the back. You can tell from the back, it's embossed. So you can see all the flowers are embossed. All the bricks are embossed. It's just an embossed card. It's curved on all four edges. So it wasn't cut from a card. It's not hinged in any way. It appears to be a greeting card because the back doesn't have anything for the postage stamp or any of that. And that's all like legal postcards. I did a bunch of research because I'm selling a bunch of postcards now. It needs to have stuff on there. So I don't think that this is a postcard. It's just a card. So I'm throwing that in. So that's Easter. And then I'm throwing in a true Victorian trade card, a simple one, because it is selling Easter goods at Church and Phelan's in Troy, New York. So this one is a business, basically an early business card. This one does not happen to have anything on the back. Somebody wrote on it, but it doesn't have any printing on the back. So some of the nicer ones, which I will be selling, I think some will be in the $5 ephemera sale, and I might have some others definitely in the future. Some of them have the writing on the back, and sometimes the back design is just as attractive as the front. But this is kind of the size of a calling card, so you can kind of see the two next to each other. This is significantly smaller. So I'm batching the two together. So it would have been part of the $5 ephemera sale, and we're just going to make the two of them together as $5. So $5, give me the letter E for Easter, and you get the Easter lot of ephemera, the two cards, the kind of greeting type card, which would just look great in the back of like a little vignette or something. And then the actual trading card. So those military marks toys from Hong Kong are more like some of this. Oh, I didn't realize Hong Kong was actually that early. I thought in 60s it still would have been Japan. Did Hong Kong get to the 60s already? I thought that was like 70s, 80s. I guess 80s would have been like Taiwan. We just kind of like hop around. So thank you. That's at so it is a little bit older. So E goes to Belinda Carroll, $5 for the Easter ephemera. So thank you for picking that up. I don't think anyone picked up the toy. I was scrolling really quickly. So yeah, because that was T. So I don't think anyone picked that one up. So that was that. Let's see. I'm not shipping much that's breakable, so I'll go ahead and throw these into the mix because these were set aside. I have had some success on eBay of selling butter pats. I literally had purchased probably about 150 to 200 butter pats. I still have lots of them left. And I started batching them together into lots on eBay. And I haven't figured out the magic formula yet because about half of them sold, started them in auctions, and some of them actually, went higher, and then others have not sold. And so I don't know what the combination is. One of the ones that sold were variations of this grouping here. These are square butter pats, and I probably should just go ahead and relist these again, but it's easier just get them off my table, sell them here. So what this one is a stack of 7. So there's this one with the pink and the gold. There's no markings on the back. This one got kind of a floral theme. This one is marked on the back, France, Decor France. 1914 is where they would have said made in France. So this is earlier than 1914. Let's see. This one kind of has a scalloped edge with a little floral in it. I think that is a Limoges mark as well. I mean, most of these are late 19th century. This one is just a plain one. Ironstone. There's a remnant of a sticker on there. So I had not cleaned all these up yet. But you've got the Ironstone China from Johnson Brothers. Big stamp on the back. Like they used the stamp from the serving platter and shoved it on the back of a butter pat. Another square one. Little floral design. Nothing on the back of that one. Another floral design. These are all square. So all the ones I'm pulling out are square. So you've got kind of a dogwood pattern. So you've got spring coming up. This one, let's see, what does that say? 7310 Dresden. I think that's what it says. Another floral square one. This one is, okay, gotta pull up the cheaters here. John Maddox and Sons, Royal Vitreous. Again, this is more like a leaf vine pattern. So all of them are square. All of them, actually, the one was blank, but they all have a floral design. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. So for 7, I will just say $12. So less than $2 a piece. They sold for more than that on eBay, but then of course I pay fees and all that stuff. So $12 for the stack of butter pats by giving me letter B. Letter B, $12 for the butter pat stack. So let me know if anyone is interested in that. And we're at the hour mark, which was kind of where I was thinking I was going to end. But let me grab one quick because although no one bought I'm surprised no one wanted the whistles. Whistles are still available. I have the Whistles Bigger Brother. So this is made in China. So this one I don't think has as much, definitely doesn't have as much age on it. So this one I couldn't put in the booth. But it is still sealed. So I didn't want to open up the seal. So Poodle is picking up the butter pats. Thanks, Poodle. $12, good deal. I hope you give them a good home. Even if they just hold candles, it's And trust me, that's not even putting a dent into what I have. So at some point, I might just do a grab bag for $1 a piece or something like that. So because I don't know how I'm going to get rid of the other 100 or so that I have. But anyway, so it's stuffed, but it's stuffed with like beanbag material. Like, so it's kind of weighted. It says just whistle, but from what I can tell, it's not a squeaker toy. There's no whistle in it. It's the just whistle tag has the little punch tag to the fabric, but it says right on the outside that it's made in China. I just think he's kind of fun. And I picked him up in the same box lot that had the whistles and a couple other things that I've already sold. But I just thought he was fun, and I thought it'd be fun to sell here. And so looked him up. He actually does sell on eBay, but I'm just going to sell him here for $8. Hey, Darlene, $8 for the stuffed Wienermobile Just Whistle. So we're going to say, give me letter J for Just Whistle for the stuffed Wienermobile for $8. All right. Let's see. What else is within reach? Cookbooks. I've sold tons of cookbooks in the past, and these are ones that I just haven't gotten around to. Darlene just shows up, and all of a sudden she's buying stuff. So okay, so Darlene Lemon gets the stuffed wheel. Thank you, Lemon, one of the more fun names to say aloud, for picking up Wienermobile. Since you came in late, we also have Wienermobile whistles, $5 for a W. So W for the whistle. I've got 3 of them available. I'll be honest, I'm surprised those didn't sell. But if they don't sell here, I'll just sell them in the booth because I think they'll definitely sell there. And Karen and I are on the absolute right path. You buy the stuffed one. I'm going to show you the thing, and she's going to pick one of the whistles up. So I will add that to your stack. The whistles are $5, so I will add that in, and they're weighing almost nothing. So I think this will it'll still be under £1. So we can get that to you since you're farther away. Okay, so I picked up a box lot of a stack of cookbooks. I've already sold off some of the better ones, sold them off individually, sold them off as private sales, listed some on eBay. They've already sold. These are ones that were just harder to list for different reasons. This one, what I've decided is I'm going to put them all into the same batch, and I'm going to sell these. It's a stack of 4 of them for $10. These all have some great age to them. This little pamphlet one is actually in really good condition. It's just so little, it was difficult to justify selling it on its own. This one is from Procter & Gamble, the Department of Home Economics in Cincinnati, Ohio. There is a copyright in the front of 1924, and all of these are kind of in that range. And actually, there's another recipe that's copyright 1927, so this must have been used for a few years. So we're probably looking in the 30s when this came up. Art of Cooking and Serving. It's got some great illustrations to it for some of the individual. Cake Making Simplified, how to make your pastries, how to make biscuits, and then a recipe for 18 small biscuits, directions for deep frying, and then how to make French fried potatoes, Crisco macaroons, quick breads. Again, so Procter & Gamble must have owned, and maybe they still do own Crisco. So you get that. You get Aunt Jane's cookbook, and this was from 1939. It's a 50th anniversary cookbook. And it was compliments of your McCannon dealer. And I don't know, or McConnon dealer. I don't know, actually, I can't remember now what McConnon is. McConnon Company, since 1889, that friendly neighbor, the McConnon dealer, has given convenient home service to hundreds of thousands of families. His high-quality products, fresh from the modern McConnon laboratories, have effected great savings in time, money, and convenience. So it must have been like some sort of Amway products. But you've got recipes throughout and illustrations. This one, unfortunately, and the reason it never got listed on eBay, it's got some condition issues because the binding spine has been taped. It's all together, but it's just obviously been taped up. Then this one, the Royal Cookbook for Royal Baking Powder. This was from Royal Baking Powder in New York. This one is copyrighted 1928 on the inside cover. This one looks like it was well used. There's some wear on the corners. The cover is there, but it's torn. So again, rough shape. So I'm mixing that one in this one. And then Jack and Mary's Jello recipe books. And trust me, for all of those who are looking out for Melody, I already offered this to Melody because I know she has a collection of Jello cookbooks. She already has this one, so she didn't need this one. So this one is the Jack and Mary's Jello recipe book. And on the back is an ad with Jack Benny and Mary Livingston and the original six flavors of Jello. But then talking about their radio program every Sunday night, NBC Red Network. Now, I don't know what the Red Network was. So the NBC have different colored networks. I've never heard of that. But so there's a comics in the front, full color illustrations. And this one is copyrighted 1937. So 4 cookbooks with varying, the Jello one's actually in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of wear to it. But again, all of them are intact. None of the pages are loose. Nothing's falling out. They're just in rough shape. You get all 4 of them for $10. $4, $10 by giving me letter C for the set of cookbooks. So $10, 4 cookbooks by giving me letter C. Let's see what else. Have I priced these? Yes. Okay. This may not be the best idea, but I've got some linens. All right, so letter C is going to Poodle. Thanks, Poodle, for picking up the cookbooks. All right. What I've got here, and this is linens like this are difficult to do in the store because people want to unfold them, they refold them, and they start getting messy. And I only have a showcase, so something this big is kind of difficult to show. This one is a yellow trimmed linen, and it's, from what I can tell, I'm not the expert in linens, but I don't think this has ever been washed, or if it was washed like totally hand washed, because you can even tell with the lights reflecting off it, there's still a sheen on this. It has the hem stitch on the edge, so you can see through the stitching. It is linen, and there's the yellow border goes on all sides. It is not square. And my note does not, I thought the note had the measurements on it, and it doesn't. So let me do a quick measurement really quick. So this is $15. I know that because I've already had it priced. And it is 46 roughly by 66, 46 by 66. NBC was known as the Red Network at that time. I've never heard that. I wonder what that means. So 46 by 66 for the yellow bordered linen. L for linen, I guess. I think I've used that like 5 times, but whatever. L for linen, $15 for the 46 by 66. Absolutely gorgeous yellow. Spring is coming, although the weather doesn't want to say it is. Absolutely gorgeous piece. And thank you. Looks like Poodle snuck ahead of Sandra. Poodle gets the linen for $15. All right. Thank you so much for picking that up. This piece is weird. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I hesitate to, well, you know what? You're just going to get it. So what this is, I'm actually selling this as part of an estate sale, a friend that's clearing out a family estate. So I've got a price tag on it. And the linen was from him as well. So that's why some of these were already priced. So this has already been priced. This is $12.50. What this is a handmade country doll that, according to his family, was part of the cover image of one of those country sampler type magazines from like the 80s. That so this woman made these, she made a whole set of them, and that this is one they bought it from the woman that did that the cover shoot was part of, that this specifically was from that. Well, they don't still have the magazine. And do you know how hard it is to try and figure out magazine covers with all these country images? So like she's just a shelf sitter at this point. She's $12.50. Like if she could be traced to the magazine image and who took the picture, could be worth a lot more. Right now, to me, it's just I'm trying to sell her for $12.50 because she's a handmade doll, and somebody who spent this much time creating this type of design, $12.50 is a totally reasonable request. So D for the $12.50 is the doll. And then if you can find the cover image, good luck to you. Otherwise, this is probably going to sit in a drawer until I have enough free time to find the cover image. But it was sitting right here, so I decided to go ahead and include it. So D $12.50 for the country doll. This you've probably seen before because I have a collection of these. And this one is a duplicate. So I'm selling it here. So this is a punch board. So it is a cuckoo punch board. Now, if you saw my video, I did a deep dive on punch boards a while ago. And the deep dive, the punch boards themselves kind of became a gambling type thing. You could buy them at bars. Some of them were guaranteed, like you would always win something. So you could pay like 5 cents and you would at least get a gum drop or a cigarette or something that was worth 5 cents. But if you were lucky, sometimes you would get 2 cigarettes or 3 cigarettes. So there's different versions of them. This one was done a little bit later. I think this one ended up being from the 30s, if I remember correctly. No, 1925. This one is a game. So this one is the game that gingers up the gang. Place cuckoo in the center of a circle formed by all players. Each in turn punches out one slip, reads it aloud, and does whatever it says. If a player is not willing to do his stunt, he is cuckoo. When all have had their turn, start over. So the stunts are, and this one actually does say this is juvenile A. So this was designed for children to use. So there were things like walk like a duck, or walk like a chicken, or quack like a duck, or different things like that. So these were games. This one, and the reason I'm selling this one, the actual punch piece is no longer in place. But if you just, rig a open up a paper clip, you're basically just punching out this little hole, opening it up, and then being able to pull the, you can punch it all the way through, and then you'll be able to pull the rolled up piece of paper that's in there that tells you what the game is. So it's super cute. The graphics on it are adorable. They did, again, each of them would keep track so that if you were trying to buy, I think there were only 2 versions, but I think there was also an adult version. So this is juvenile A, there's also juvenile B, and then an adult A and an adult B. So this one is the juvenile one. If it had the pin in it, it would be worth a lot more. Selling this on its own, it's $10. So $10, you get the instructional booklet. It also is a little promotional piece. Like this has value all by itself, but you can see there were other versions like tongue twisters. You could buy them back in the 20s for 25 cents. So $10 for the little promotional piece, as well as the cuckoo for, we'll just say letter C. Letter C for the cuckoo game board. And then I still have one of these in my collection. So that was C, $10 for the cuckoo. Let's see, we're at 8:15. What else is in my reach? Okay, well, let me ask. I've got additional linens, if anyone wants those. I have Wade Whimsies. I can sell Wade Whimsies. I've got a glass bird feeder. I've canceled checks. I have more cookbooks. I have pewter. I have more butter pats. Any requests of any of those? Otherwise, I'm already surrounded by stacks, and so I'm afraid if I do too much more, I'm not going to be able to get out. Okay, so Karen is okay. So Sandra came in first and is asking for the linens. So I've got 2 more of those, and one just dropped the price. Okay, I can still see it. All right, so this is $8. This one is blue and white. It has the fringe, the self threading hem. It is square, maybe. Looks like it might be square. Looking at it really quickly, I can see there's a couple spots. Now I just lost them. There's a little bit of discoloration there, so just going to be honest. Because I hadn't even opened these yet. They were just sitting on in a stack that I grabbed in a box. Some discoloration here. But I don't see any holes or anything. And size-wise, I'm going to guess it's 40 by 40, but hold on. Let me grab my tape measure again. $44 by 44. So I was close. No, sorry, Nate. You're not getting my 200-year-old pewter plate. Nice try. But no, that's not the pewter that's for sale. So 44 by 44. This is $8. $8 for the blue and white. And we'll do this F for fringe. I think I've already used the B. So F for fringed blue, white tablecloth, $8. All right, looks like Sandra Smith is the first to grab that. So thank you so much, Sandra, for picking up that. I've got another $8 blue and white. This one has a white design to it. Ivy pattern done in that. Let's see, edging, it's hemmed. So this one is a traditional hemmed edge, a little bit bigger. This one is rectangular. Looking really quick just to make sure there's no obvious issues, any discoloration or holes or anything, but I don't think he would have given me something that had holes. So no, it looks like it's a good shape. This one is un momento, por favor. This one you're looking at 44 by 60, roughly. So this was $8. We'll say this is letter I for Ivy, and it was $8 for the blue and white Ivy. Okay, Sandra's picking that up too. So thank you, Sandra, for picking up that blue and white one. So you got the 2 blue and white ones are going to Sandra. And then I only have one more, and I'll just do that really quick because Sandra was the first one to ask. Then I'll show some of the other pieces. Somebody said choice, and I don't know what you meant choice on. We could do, maybe we could do choice on the Wade Whimsies, but that might take us forever. So this one is the most elaborate of them. So this one has the lace edged pieces. Oh, Heather Elizabeth is here. I was just talking about you, that we might do something with trade cards or something, because I just sold a couple. I don't know how to show this. So this is a bigger one. Anyway, it is, what would this be considered? Embroidered? Yeah. So this is all embroidered. It's a kind of like a dusty rose and like a stronger pink. They're definitely pinks. They're not reds. It's from my end, it looks like it's coming up pretty color correct in the picture. My shirt is more red. So, but if there's, my shirt's kind of pinky. Oh, here's a red. The weird doll has a red ribbon. So you can kind of see it's not red. It's more of a pink. The pattern is, I'm afraid I'm going to knock stuff off. So let me move these up really quick. Okay. These are, it is embroidered all the way around the edge and another border in the middle. So it is rectangular. I'm going to kind of do a pan here because now I can't see you. You can kind of see the design. It is, I'm going to say hand done because that is pretty sloppy. Where all those are tied off, that is not machine done. This is something I think a person did. The lace is machine made lace, and I was about to say is machine attached to, but now I'm thinking, no. I think the lace is actually attached by hand as well. Man, somebody had free time. And size wise, okay, so looking at it really quick, it's that rough thread linen. So it's like you kind of see the flax coming through it. I don't see, I'm trying to make sure that none of the embroidery is like ripped out, but it's looking in really good shape. I see a little place of discoloration that might be able to be cleaned up because it's just, you can see a little bit of a like age mark there. But no, from the front, like there's a couple places where again, because I think it's hand done, there's a couple places where it seems to be the threads are like not tied down as well as they used to be, but that doesn't seem to be relaying to the front. And if you look, see, this is why it's hard to sell any of this at the booth, because how would anyone see any of this stuff? But look, they did the little, what are they called? French knots in the middle of all of the crosswork. Like that's crazy amount of work done in this. So size wise, you can tell as I'm just trying to struggle with this thing, it's pretty big. Let me measure it really quick. So roughly we are 44 by 50. It's absolutely gorgeous. So all of these came from the same family. This is the most elaborate. So, crap. I knocked down the price. Hold on. This one is 25. So this pink embroidered one is 25, and we will say it's letter E for embroidered. $25. And I already forgot what I said the measurement was, but hopefully you heard me. So, absolutely gorgeous piece, and absolutely looked fantastic on an Easter table with those great pink colors with maybe a green centerpiece. That would look fantastic. So beautiful addition. Okay. Now I missed, somebody wanted, Karen had wanted, I think the Wade Whimsies, but let me go back here a little bit. Sandra and Poodle wanted the linens. Yes. So Karen asked for the Wade Whimsies. So I've got a box of Wade Whimsies. Oh, I'm sorry. The pink was E for embroider. I'm sorry. I thought I said that. I wrote it down. You guys can't see that. All right. We're going to push the little butter pat things to the side because nobody asked for those. Okay. As long as you don't hear them crashing to the ground. Okay. Okay, so Sandra wants those. So we're going to have a big fluffy package going to Sandra Smith with the linens in there. Okay. Now, I asked a clarification. I'm going to see, did somebody say, what were you asking about choice for? Were you asking choice for the Wade Whimsies? Because here are the Wade Whimsies that I have. And I dump them all onto my computer. So let's see. I've got multiples of the donkey. No, is that a donkey or horse? Or zebra? Maybe he's a zebra. So I have a zebra. Let's make a little lot. How about if I do the zebra, the lion, and koala bear. $10 for the 3. For Z, everyone want is three. What are that? $3.33 a piece. Letter Z would get you this set of 3 for $10. I'll actually throw in a 4th. So you can get the polar bear too. So for $10, you get the polar bear, the koala bear, the lion, which I think technically is from the circus one because he's kind of up on a platform, and the zebra. So you've got 3 wild animals and 1 hoping to be a wild animal. Let's see. I've got a Little Red Riding Hood. And I've got the goose. And I've got a squirrel. I've got, what the heck is that? A bear, I guess? Or a really fat cat? I think it's a bear. Raccoon. All right, so Belinda is going to grab the set. So for $2.50 a piece. And since I've already got a shipment going to you, that won't add to the shipping cost too much. So Z for the set of 4 for $10 to Belinda, which was the lion, the koala, the polar, and the zebra. All right. The bird feeder somebody asked for. I'm just making old man noises. So it's one of those ones that you hook on the side. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, like this. Hook on the side of the bird cage. And then the bird fill this with bird feed seed, and bird can eat to his heart's content. I think this would look cute in a with a air plant in there. I actually picked up a bunch of them, and several of them have sold at the shop. So what I have is I actually have 2 of these left. Yeah, I still have 2 of them here that aren't even at the shop anymore, or not yet. So I'll sell them for the same price I sell them at the shop, $5. $5 for the bird feeder by giving me letter B, I guess. I think I've used that multiple times, but bird feeder, $5 for the glass bird. And I happen to have 2 of them. So if 2 people want it, or if one person wants both. Let's see. Did anyone else ask anything that I skipped? Let's see. Great buy. Did I just what letter? Tablecloth. Okay, wait. All right, that's weird. Take out of context. Did you want to see the pewter? Oh, that was in response to Nate asking about the pewter. No stained glass. I had the glass bird feeders. What else do I have that's glass? Well, I ain't shipping that. All right, I can ship this if you want it. It's not stained glass, but it's actually a pretty cool piece. And then unless somebody else asks for something else, we can work something out, Belinda. I can take a picture of what I've got and we can work out a total if you want. I didn't look like anyone else was looking for them. So unless somebody jumps in that they wanted one of the animals, we can make a custom lot and I'll take care of you, Belinda. Those don't take up much space, but they also takes me a long time to sell them. So if I can get rid of them all at one time, I can give you a good price. Okay. Well, you guys tell me. Bohemian glass. So we've got a piece of cased glass. It has the purple on the inside and then cased in white. And then the white has been cut to purple. So you've got the white that has now been cut away to expose the purple underside in both the scallops on the top, as well as all of these details throughout the vase itself and the base. This is just a phenomenal piece. Absolutely fell in love with it. Not my style, so I'm not going to keep it, but it needs to go to the right home. Because this would have, I did pick up from an estate sale, but it was one of those, like George talks about this with Antique Nomad. Anytime you are shopping in a booth, shopping in an estate sale or anything like that, always look for the thing that doesn't look like it belongs there. And you can usually get a pretty decent price on it because it means that the people dealing with it don't know what it is. And sometimes they ask for too much because they think it's something super special. This one, I did have to negotiate down the price a little bit. And it can be expensive. Unfortunately, it's not signed. So Elderly Poodle said that looks expensive. It's not signed, it's not marked, but a lot of glassware isn't. So it's difficult. If it had the pontil, it was polished out. So I'm not familiar with how cased glass works. I don't see the pontil on the inside either, but what I know about it is it's in pristine condition. It doesn't even have any flea bites up at the top. Like if you run your finger across, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this. And the rest of what that estate sale had was far more industrial, and I was afraid it was going to get damaged. And so it literally was something that I saved it. Doing my research and doing what others were selling for, I was going to put this in the booth for $45. So it's $45. If you were interested in it, it is F for floral for 45, F 45. This shouldn't be too bad to ship because it's actually, you can tell it's pretty thick glass. So it should survive shipping fairly well. So it was going to go into the booth. But if you want it, it'd be $45 and I'm happy to ship it to you. Absolutely gorgeous piece. But other than Bohemian cased glass, like I want to say this is 1880s, 1890s. I don't really know that much more about it. But Google image search is kind of a, man's best friend. I've never carried anything like it. So I liked it a lot. Oh, you know what? This is actually easier to ship. This came from the same estate sale. So this is right out of the bat. Kelly, I am at the Geneva Antique Market in downtown Geneva. It's been there for 34 years. It's in the basement of the Berry House. So I've only been there a few months, so I'm still trying to figure it out. So this is made in Occupy Japan. So we get to date it. And it is what they said it was, and it's possible, but they said it was a rug for a dollhouse. This does look like it's a rug. Like this does look like it was designed to be a miniature scale rug. But I have no way of knowing, but I don't know what else it would be. It is stitched. I'm going to assume machine stitched. I don't think any human would have done that, and it wouldn't have been that clean if they did. It says right on there, made in Occupy Japan, but it's like it wasn't a kit or anything like that. I mean, I do think it was purchased this way or made this way. It does have a tiny bit of trim, like a little scallop trim. So all of it's machine made. It's in really good condition for something that'd be from the late 40s. They stopped marking made in occupied Japan in 1952. So it's salesman sample. Ooh, I love that idea. I don't know if they existed because this wouldn't have been the way a salesman rug would have been made. So I think if you have a salesman sample, it probably would have been manufactured in the same style, whether it was tufted or something like that. So I hadn't thought of that. You made me think about it. But I take it that it probably could be. Size-wise, though, this would have been a pretty big room in a dollhouse because it is, where'd my tape measure go? It is 9.5 inches long. So let's see. Dollhouses are what, 1/12th or 1/24th? I don't remember. Anyway, it is what it is. It's a cool piece. It is marked made in occupied Japan. I think this would look fantastic under just a little candle, even on a vanity set with like a couple perfume bottles on there, whatever vignette you want to make. I was going to put it in the booth. It's $10. So $10 for the occupied Japan rug. We'll do ours for rug, $10 to get the occupied Japan rug. And this is like super lightweight and it folds up really nicely. So it would be pretty easy to ship. All right, it looks like Poodle is adding that to her box for $10. So she snuck in ahead of Karen. All right. Anything else I got in reach? Did I show you this one? The $45 thing didn't sell. I'll show you the $65 thing because it's sitting right next to it. So we've got, again, probably this is 1860s to 1880s, ruby, flash, cut to clear, does have the pontil that's been fire polished, stopper in pristine condition with cut to clear facets on the top. I'm not happy with the neck. Like it seems like this is rather rough. But if you feel on the inside, it's not damaged. What it looks like is that the neck was applied. So they made the base and then they made the neck and then they attached the two. So it does have the attachment to that. I don't have it written down. It was like Engelhart or Engelman or something like that was this design. It is just cut on all four sides. It's got the deer elk on the top, and then on the opposite side is the architecture. So the fact that it's got the architectural piece is what puts it into that Engelhart thing. These regularly sell for over $100 because I'm not happy with the way the neck is attached. That's why I was knocking it down to $65. So not damaged. It's just, it's old. And the way it was manufactured, they just didn't do as good of a job attaching the two. And you can actually, if you look at it really carefully, it kind of leans a little bit the way they attached it. But $65. I'm not looking forward to shipping this. I'll probably double box it if I do. If anyone's interested, we'll just say R for ruby red. And I think I've used R like 10 times. But that was $65. And this was headed to the booth as well. But if you're interested in it, $65, I will figure out how to ship it to you. Oh, I had one other thing. Excuse me. One other piece of ephemera that didn't make it into the stack for the video that I'm making with Beth. This is a two-part lot because this piece is damaged. So I'm just kind of sneaking it in with this one. So we've got Sacred Songs, Little Voices, for use in primary classes and junior societies, edited by William Kirkpatrick. It is copyrighted 1912. So 1912 for the Sacred Songs for Little Voices. And it is a collection of music. Open the gates. Guard my child, thy tongue, little drops of water. I will try to do my best. Jesus' little band, little soldiers we are. Lovely Land of Sunshine. So they're basically, again, sacred songs for little voices. So normally I would list that for $5 by itself, but I'm putting this into the mix because unfortunately the cover of this has come off. So this is Book of 750 Bible and Gospel Studies. And inside, this is also got some age to it. This was copyrighted. Actually, did I find the copyright on this one? Book of Prayers. I would say this is probably the 20s. Oh, no, 1909. So 1909. So you get the Book of 750 Bible and Gospel Studies. So this is Jesus Christ, the Son of God. There's then readings from the Bible that you can follow. Trinity acting in unity, alphabet of the Holy Spirit. So just basically all kinds of Bible studies. So putting the two religious books together, sacred songs. And this was also, so $5, part of the $5 ephemera sale. S for sacred songs, $5 for the two books. $5. And then I think I will stop there. So ended up being on longer than I anticipated. So thanks so much for people who stayed on. And it looks like Karen snuck ahead of Belinda on that one. So Karen gets the books. Excellent. So I'll add that to your box. So thanks so much for everyone who stayed on. Appreciate it. I appreciate you welcoming me back. Again, do not forget, I don't know if Beth is still on. Do not forget on Sunday, actually Beth is part of it. I don't know if Heather Elizabeth is still here. Heather Elizabeth is part of it. On Sunday is the drop sale that I am hosting for February. Beth will host the one in March. And it is 16 resellers. So we've got quite a bit to choose from, and I'm trying to pull up the artwork of who is in the sale. All right, so it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern with Beth from Carolina Princess, and then it goes to Picasso Cat, then the second part of Living, then This Overstuffed House, Vintage and Vino, Halen Vintage, Mimi's Treasure Cottage, Vintage Uprising Texas, then Vintage Vinny, then The Thrill of the Thrift, then Old Curiosity Shop. Then you've got me at 8:30 p.m. Hey, Heather Elizabeth, she's still here. 8:30 p.m. You've got me, Press Jackson Mercantile. 9 p.m. Antique Agenda. Heather Elizabeth is right after me. And then 9:30 p.m. Eastern is Tiger's Timeless Treasures, then Vintagerous, and then 10:30 p.m. Eastern is Thrifting Adventures. So with a couple bumps, because Heather Elizabeth is technically farther west than some of the others, I did try and start at East Coast, working my way to the West Coast, so that it ends with Vintagerous and Thrifting Adventures both on the West Coast. So it's not as late for them. But that's 16 people running from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. So it's a full day, full afternoon and evening of drop sales. So hopefully for anyone who's not participated in those, it's a different experience. It's not live. As you know, I never do offer ups. So on my channel, that's not a big deal. But, if you're used to doing offer ups, the videos are not offer ups. So you just have to go in. You don't have to watch them when they drop live, but I've had more than one person say, oh, I wish I saw your video. They see something they really like and they missed out on it. So it's just a slightly different experience. I'll give you a little tip, and some people are against this tip, but it's just one of those cases. If you don't know it, you don't know it. Depending on who you're watching, yes, we want you to watch our videos. We hope we're entertaining. In my case, I'm also trying to help educate, whatever the case may be. If you watch it on faster speed, or if you fast forward, you can jump ahead to the end of the video before the 30. So if I have something at the 25-minute mark of my video, you might be able to see it faster than somebody else if you sit there and kind of like scroll it forward. For some viewers, they're still, or some YouTubers, they're still trying to get their viewing hours up. They're still trying to get their membership up. So that kind of hurts them a little bit. So take that with a grain of salt. But if you want to be strategic, particularly if you see somebody, I'll be promoting some of the things that I'll have in my sale. If you see something you like, you might want to then hop into the video and just kind of scroll until you find it and then grab it when you see it. So it's not a secret. Like anybody could do it. Just some people didn't realize that was a possibility. So take that, keep that in mind. So I was trying to think of who else was here. I know Beth was here earlier. Anyone else? But I've named everybody. If you're not, oh, I didn't see the Withering Cottage. Hello. So I apologize for some people that popped in later. I might have missed, but if you're not following any of those channels, I definitely encourage you to go ahead and follow them because everyone's, nice to support this community. The world is a different place, as it's opened up a little bit. I know a lot of the YouTubers feel they're not getting as many views. They're not getting as much activity. Some cases the high end offer up world kind of has taken over. I still like giving you guys good prices. And trust me, I'm making money. So I have no problem. And particularly if selling $5 ephemera, hey, I may only making $3 or $4, but it's also not taking me hardly any time to ship it. So that means a lot too. So it's all a game, and we're all here to have fun, and that's what it's all about. So thanks again for everyone joining. Good night, Kelly. Good night, everyone else who's still around. And in 15 minutes will be this overstuffed house. She'll be part of the drop sale on Sunday as well, but she has her live sale tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to hop over there in 15 minutes, tell her I said hi. That is this overstuffed house, all in one word. She'll have her live sale, and then she'll have drop sale coming up on Sunday again. So for everyone who purchased from me, please send me your information. It will simplify greatly since it's been a while since I've invoiced. Really appreciate that. Belinda, I will try and reach out to you with the rest of the Wade Whimsies to determine. I've got tons of duplicates, so you're not going to want the entire box, but we can figure out what you're missing or what you're looking for, and I'm sure we can take care of you. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night. Thanks for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.